Hey, when we were chatting yesterday, we were sharing how we can embed bits and pieces. So I said I'd create a short video because I discussed two ways that I've embedded things, excuse me, in Rise. But the same will work in Storyline as well. So I said I'd create a short video to show you. So what I'm going to show you is how you can create a learning journal for your learners, and that they can go in and just take their own notes as they're going through the training, and have it as an asset afterwards, and how you can embed an evaluation at the end of it. We were talking about, if you don't have an LMS or you're finding that they're not actually going into the LMS and completing the evaluation. Personally, I've seen more uptake when it's embedded into the course and getting feedback there. So what I've done in advance, I've just created a short learning journal here, nothing too fancy, it could be whatever you want. And I have created just a post-training survey. Again, nothing too fancy. I have put here which module did you complete, if you wanted to put that in there, so they can have a drop down. So you can just use one post-training survey. There's loads of other ways, and if you want, I can show you how you can merge multiple surveys into one massive survey and use Google Data Studio to leverage all that data. So if you'd like that, just let me know. And of course, I have created a course in Rise. So I just copied an existing one that they have there. That's free for everyone who's getting started in human resources. Doesn't matter, I just wanted something with a bit of content here. So I added this lesson here called About This Course. And this is where you can share your learning outcomes, what set expectations, if they need devices or anything like that. So let's go in here and just edit the content. And I've created a heading here, just learning journal. And then what I do here is then go into all blocks, add in multimedia, interactive. Let's get them mixed up. Go down to and add a button. So I'm going to edit this here and go, just a few notes. And this is going to go to a web page. So link to a web page, enter the URL, and this is going to be my learning journal. Now, I don't want them to have the original because, we don't want everyone to be sharing each other's notes, and it'll just, if someone deletes it and messes around, and we can't rely that they'll go in here and make a copy. But what you could do in Google Docs is, if you go up here and do you see where it says edit, just remove all of that and replace that with copy. And what that will do is, instead of opening it up in edit mode or read only, it actually opens up as with a prompt to say, do they want to create a copy? So there we go. So that's what it'll look like. It'll make a copy and make a copy of that journal, and then it'll automatically save to their Google Drive, which is really handy. So let's go in here and this label. Make sure I don't like that too small. Let's move that up to 17, even 20, just to make it a bit more readable. I wish they would change it so that you can create I wish they could reset, what the default sizes and all of that are. So any settings here, you can change if you want. Let's go here. Let's create. Leave it at the verb called create. All right. So close that. So now when I go into preview, or if the learner is taking it, they'll come in here, see the learning journal, click create, come in here, click make a copy, and then they can come in and start taking notes. So I can go in here, go to there, and my original learning journal is not changing. Let's just refresh that there just to show that. So that's a really good way to get some interactivity there, so that they can have a learning journal and take those notes rather than just kind of flying through. I'll show you as well how I integrate, I'm clicking all over the place, the learning journal in as well. Actually, before I do that, what's really handy here as well is that you can save this, of course, as a reusable piece of content. So I can, what was it again? All blocks. block templates, new block template. So I can select this, save that as journal, share with the team, and there we go. So if let's delete that off. If I'm doing a new lesson here, I can go to my all blocks, block templates, learning journal, and there it is. Really, really quick. So it's seeing there as well what I can do the next, how I integrate this in here is by having activities in the course. So let's jump down to understanding compensation and benefits. And I like to put reflections in here to get people to think, oh, what have I learned about the content? I will hands up admit I am probably the laziest learner because I review and scan through learning so often. I tend to just kind of I find it hard to read on screen. I tend to just scan through, whereas if you have like reflections and things like that, they tend to pause. So here are 4 types of compensation and benefits. There's a little video here, and let's pop in a new piece here. And what I'm going to do is add a reflection, but I use the quote function to do this. So we have here, let's edit this, and I change this here. So let's replacement content library, and I'm going to look for a, thinking, let's change that to icon for illustration. Put that there, nice little thinking guy. So here, and then I change this, delete all this off, reflection, and how do you think these benefits help you? And of course we want to change this, so I want to make this bold and maybe make this a bit bigger so it's a bit standy outy. And I am going to make this font size 20, maybe left align-ish, in your learning journal document these main points. And then you can have in here, let's change this to 22, change this to a kind of a grey color, and then add in here another plus, which one is it, the interactive, where we have the little button thing. I haven't been in this in a while. Oh, list, isn't it? Yeah. So we can go in here and edit, delete. I have completed this activity. Great fan of these, but if you wanted to put it in here and then your divider, continue, and then edit that and say complete block directly above. So they can't move on unless they've done that. Delete that off, edit, settings, let's remove the padding, edit, remove the padding on top, settings, no padding, just to make it a bit more cleaner. So now we have a link here, kind of getting them to use the learning blog as well. And how do you think that these will? And we can again update this to 20. Oh, and yeah. So when we preview this, we go down through here, we go through all the content. We have our little reflection point. I've completed this. So in your learning journal, document some of these and click continue, and then they can move on. So that's how you can integrate your learning journal with your content within Rise. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into edit mode and add in an evaluation then at the end. So now they've gone through the lesson and I'm really happy. I want to get their feedback, and like most people, they tend to say, well, no, great, I have finished. Oh, just to recap as well there, you can create that as a if you wanted to, create that as a block as well. So if we look at the block templates, I have one here. Oh, activity, there we go. There's one. They say we created earlier that I actually link out to a forum. That's what I call it here. So again, linking that content in there. So I could just go in here and say, new activity, folder management, maybe call this, HR or, and there we go. So it keeps again the same look and feel if I want. So I know I am jumping around there, but anyways, back to the last one here. So we have a quiz and we want our summary. So often people go in here, and if you're like me, kind of scan through it, and thank you for completing this course. That's it. But really, I want to get their feedback. So what I do in here is four key takeaways, even or afterwards. Or if you're linking them off, I like to link them off to more information, maybe a wiki, a knowledge base, something like that. So I am going to embed in the training survey. And if I go in here to interactive, like I said, it's been a while. Oh, there we go, embed. Go in here to my survey and get script editor. Oh no, sorry. Go in here, and I can even actually just send iframe here. Then go back in here, click edit, change iframe, click enter to create your embed. So let's just add the URL itself, and there we have our little survey automatically in there. Let's see why the multimedia embed. I think it doesn't like the iframe. Let's just delete the iframe thing. Enter, might be all of this. There we go. It just didn't like the loading part. There we go. So we have the full survey in there. So if I go to preview, let's take a look here. I can have like the short one here, or this actually looks really inbuilt into it. So before I can finish, and then you finish your thank you for completing the course, and they could go in here and take. Let's give it a 10, and strongly agree. We like our results. Super. Let's submit. There we go, and perfect. So a really good way of like embedding in your different bits and pieces that I chatted about yesterday. If you'd like to know, I think that was all I covered. But if you have any other questions and tips and tricks, just let me know. I'm happy to help.